be heard? It says I can be heard. Can you guys hear me? All good? Okay. Yeah, it wasn't even plugged in. I'm real smart. It's been real hectic the past few streams. Alright, so I did most of my base coating last week. I just need to review and see where I was at. I made one mistake where I was looking at my old Sisters of Slaughter that I need to go over. So, because what I accidentally did was this front loincloth is supposed to be green to match the bra, and the back is supposed to be blue, and I painted it all blue. Oh well. So let me just fix that. This is Cabalite green by Citadel. Alright, let's get started. So, I just gotta fix this real quick. I don't know why I screwed it up the way I did. Messing up my own color scheme. So I believe I left last week by glazing the skin on these lovely ladies here. So now next, after I correct this color mistake, I'm going to be going in and doing a real thin wash of Reichland Flesh Shade. So you can see the glaze dried. It added definition to the skin, but not quite what I'm looking for. So the Reichland Flesh Shade helps add a little bit more definition and shadow. But I'm going to thin it down a lot. Just going back and forth because this color is not going over the blue very well. So I've got a real cool model chosen from an extreme, and I'm super excited about it. So let's hope I can just blow through these today. That looks good enough to me. Alright, so I made a small mistake. Just gotta clean up. the golden skin. It's the base color for the skin that I chose. I just accidentally hit the inside of her thigh when I was fixing that. Try to fix a mistake and I just make another. That's my life. Alright. So let's get this Reikland Flesh Shade thinned down and applied. I just used about 3 to 4 drops. And I'm going to mix it with Lemmy and Medium here. About 50-50. With a little bit of water. Alright. So this I'm applying all over, trying not to let it pool. Pooling is bad. In my opinion, thinning out Reikland Flesh Shade, it's really the only way to use it, because it's way too saturated for most skin tones. It turns people straight up orange. Unless you're looking for orange. But I've always found that thinning it down, you get the best application out of it. Alright, so now I'm gonna lower this a little bit. There's that. You can see it just added a little bit more definition to her. It looks a little tanned now. And after I'm done applying this, yeah, it's okay, my legs are pasty white as well. Although I did get a little bit of sun this summer. a little bit. This is like tan for me, believe it or not. I don't like the sunlight. Alright, so there's number 2. All washed up. Now for the 3rd one. Oh my god, these women back here that are always yelling when I'm trying to stream drive me crazy. I hope you guys don't hear that. Sometimes they're a little rowdy though. They must have a super fun job. This Immortals is in a large office building. So there's a bunch of other businesses. It's in the basement of an office building. Alright. Oh, I just need to do this hand. Okay, doke. Now I'm gonna shade the blue and the green areas. I'm just gonna make sure I have them all covered like I want before I go shading. I shade those. Oh, okay. Thank you. Sometimes, like I said, they yell. I think I've got some pretty good coverage here. Just touching up a few spots here and there. Alright. So, I don't think I'm ever gonna go on Facebook today. Oh well. This, I use undiluted, I think. Guess we'll find out. Just straight Druchii Violet. Although I did just watch a video where someone was using this and I think it's actually pronounced Druki. I'm like, I'll keep calling it Druchii until someone yells at me. Just don't yell at me, please. I don't really want to be yelled at. I really like shading the blues and the green with purple. It gives them kind of a silky look. I'm sorry, I'm like off camera. Let's see, I've been painting over here. Alright. There's not a lot of recesses to deposit this into, but I just still like to cover it without it pulling. I don't want it getting into the skin. Number 2. Alright, hey, I got a new follow. Thank you, KB Mango 1. That was 12 minutes ago. If you're still watching, thank you. If you're not, oh well. And one more. There's a big ugly spot that I missed over here. Just need a tiny itty bitty bit of paint to fix it. While these are drying, I'm going to start or continue working on the metallics. As you can see, a lot of the metallic is kind of like halfway done or not done at all. So I'm going to work on that. When I'm doing my batch painting, I like to, figure out a good method so that I'm never just waiting for something to dry. So I try to do all the shading and the glazing and all that right around the same time, so that while I'm working on one, I finish one, then the other two have time to dry before I get back to the other one, and I start painting something else. And just kind of keep things moving. This is what I'm trying to show in this stream here. I'm not a quick painter by any means, but there are ways to just keep things moving. So, I'm done with that. Let's finish these metallics. I need another cup of water. I use Iron Breaker for the silver, and I use Rune Lord Brass for the brass. Okay. Sorry, I was just seeing if I was on Facebook yet, but I don't think I am. Alright. This will just be a Twitch and YouTube exclusive stream, I guess. So I don't thin this down any. Most of the time I try not to thin down my metals, depending on the metal. Because then they start just like being super runny, and then you got a puddle of glitter water all over the place, and it's just not fun. Glitter water. So with my color scheme, like I said, it's all Iron Breaker, and then trim and decorative things are in the Rune Lord brass. Exclusive. So I get most of my views from Facebook, but that's okay. They can survive without me for a week. Painting these models gets real fiddly sometimes. They've got a lot of movement to them, and they've got a lot of tiny bits that are real easy to break. I've already done my fair share of gluing whips back on. That is not fun. But they're still my favorite. I'm gonna move this speaker so I can't see anything. There we go. So not next week, but the following week, I'm starting a new job. I put in my 2 weeks notice on my current job last week. For those of you that, well, I don't think I ever really talk about work when I'm here. But I figured I'd try and get more personable with my followers and chit chat about some more things than painting. Just to keep it interesting. I'm a machinist. I run CNC, at my current job, I do EDM machining. I've been there for a little over 3 years. I started machining when I was 16. So I put in my 2 weeks notice, and I'm going to start a new job. I'll be working the same shift, but I will be, training, which is the whole point of this conversation. I'll be training on first shift for like my first week or two, so my streams might be at different times, because I'll be at work from like 7 to 3 instead of 3 to 11. So just watch out for those evening streams. If you can't tune in, I understand. Just thought I'd give you guys a heads up. That'll be the week of the 17th. I try to keep a regular schedule going, but life happens. It doesn't always work. Oh, hey, thank you. Yeah. I know you can go back on Facebook and watch them. But I don't know how long Twitch leaves them in their library. Don't they disappear at a certain amount of time? Or are they always there when you go live? Or are they... I don't know what I'm saying anymore. Oh, okay, well, perfect then. Sorry, I'm just trying to make sure I get everything on her. Alright. Next. I'm painting 3, and it is less than a team or squad. The minimum unit size for Sisters of Slaughter is 10. But 10 is way too many for me to batch paint. I always batch paint in 3s, because my attention span is very short. Once I'm done with all my metallics, I shade them with non-oil, and then we will begin the highlight process, which is very, very, very quick on these guys because their details are so small. It's just the hardest part about them is making sure you've got a clean base coats, because they are fiddly, as I said. Fiddly bits. These songs would be so uncomfortable. They're like metal in the front. Yeah, Age of Sigmar. Yeah, they're like metal in the front, and then cloth in the back, and whatever, guys. She's just got some studs on her. It's okay, Carlos. You play with Skaven. So there's painting the studs on her. One boot has studs. So now on to this one. Yes. I will most definitely help you with your Lord of the Rings. I would be buying that set if it had orcs and goblins in it. Because those are my favorite. I have a weird obsession with orcs. Across, like... The only thing I don't like orcs in is Warhammer. I like them in D&D, I like them in Lord of the Rings and stuff. In Warhammer, they're too silly. Have her play orcs and goblins. That is the only good option in my book. Oh, that's cool too. That would be a boring faction to paint, because aren't they all like black? Just black and dark and more dark. But painting black is hard though. I don't know what color I'll make this rod for the standard. I might do a Rhinox hide, like a very deep brown. All you gotta do is prime on black, and then you're done. I think I did most of this Rune Lord brass last week, so I'm gonna touch up areas and repaint whatever I didn't paint. Like I said, this is all trim areas. Trim and jewelry. And the masks. Can't forget the masks. They're the reason why I love this unit so much. So they look like they would really mess you up. Okay. You don't have all the patience to paint? Painting's fun, guys. I gotta clean up some areas of the Screamer pink too before I do my Nuln Oil on these guys, because I actually wash the pink in the Nuln Oil because I'm lazy. I don't feel like doing anything else. Like I said, these aren't, I don't paint these to my normal standard that you've been seeing me paint. These are my troop standard. That's what I'm going to start calling it, a troop standard. I now have a word for it. Thank you. Alright. So that's done, I think. I gotta fix this. I always think I'm done, but I'm never done. Oh, okay. Well, it's fun. I actually, before I ever painted miniatures, I hated painting. Like, I've always been pretty artsy, love doing art, love drawing, just little things like that. I've got a few things I sculpted while in high school, but, hated painting. And then my boyfriend introduced me to Warhammer, and that's all I do now. It's my second job. Sometimes I wish I could just like quit working and paint all day. 'Cause if I did that, I think I would be happy then. But it doesn't bring in that kind of money, so I'll keep working. One day I will. That's my goal, is to just paint. It may be a far off goal, but I'll keep working towards it. So, yeah. I mean, I've got enough work, really, to keep me, like, I'm booked until December or January. It really can be a job. A lot of the professional painters, they don't have a day job. The guys that are doing box art and are doing tours and classes at the Adepticon and other conventions, that's what they do. But they're also pros. I haven't even been doing this for 2 years yet. So, I got something to look forward to, hopefully. Sorry, my nose is running and I have no tissues back here. There we go. Alright. Yes, that would be awesome. I'd love to do that. I plan on buying a house soon, and I'm only looking at houses that have a good studio space. Like, I want an extra bedroom, or I want a room shut off in the or an extra room in the basement. Hopefully next year that'll be my next move, because once I start doing that, I will be able to start airbrushing, and life will be good. Life will be good. So I am doing all of the metallics and the pink in almond oil today. Right now. Not today, right now. So I do a pretty liberal application of the almond oil. So I really like the way it settles into the Rune Lord brass. You can see that there. Yeah. Fun stuff, fun stuff. I'm gonna ignore the banner for today because that's gonna be really annoying to paint. I'm gonna treat it like it's not there. I'm not gonna do a third stream on these guys. I'm just gonna start something new next week. So I'm gonna try and rush and work through, not rush, just work through some highlighting that I do on these guys. I'll do the skin next. One more. All right. I think it's time to retire this brush. This brush is horrible. It keeps fraying more and more. Yeah. Awful. Awful, awful brush. So, I'm gonna go right into golden highlight. And this color does not want to come out. You gotta be careful with some of these Reaper dropper bottles. You never know what's gonna happen with them. Well, hopefully that'll get me through. I'm gonna thin it down a little bit. It's already pretty thin. So, put a little bit of flow weight in it to keep it from drying. Just one drop. Alright. So this I'm just gonna use not a lot. That was a really good sentence, wasn't it? So it's a pretty bright color, which is why I'm just gonna use it very lightly. On any highlighted areas. I'm gonna get out some of this regular base coat too to kind of clean up areas and kind of work with the two colors as I go. I don't need flow weight in that one. It's like there were some spots where I hit the skin with non-oil, or if I use too much of the highlight color, I can go back in with the base color and clean it up a little bit. Just good to have both going at the same time. I just kind of follow the curves. You know, these ladies got some nice curves, and just kind of like see where your light is hitting it and just pump paint there. That's how I do a lot of my highlighting. So I just pay attention to where my work light is hitting the miniature. I know one method that some people use. You know, there's the zenithal priming, which I'd like to do more of, but I would like to have an airbrush to do that. And some people take a picture of their primed miniature with the light at the angle that they want it, and they save that picture, and then that's where they know how to place their lights. Just lots of different techniques for highlighting. All depends on what you're looking for. I wouldn't go into that much depth and detail for a troop choice like this unless they were part of a diorama that I was entering into Golden Demon. But it's all stuff that helps, different techniques. So these are a little too dark for my liking. I could have probably thinned down the Reichland a little bit more. But that's why I'm just going back in with the base coat in some places, just to lighten them up. But there's nothing wrong with skin tone variation in your army. Like, I've got people with more gray skin, I've got more golden skin, I've got more tanned skin. So here's the difference that made. The one with her arms up in the air is the one I didn't do yet. The one with their staff, I did just now. You can see the definition that it brought to her skin. Looks kind of cool. Alright, let's do this one now. If you watch what I'm doing, I'm kind of dipping my brush into both colors, and that's called painting with a loaded brush. Basically, it's a quick blending technique. You know, you pick up some of the darker color, and then you pick up some of the lighter color. The lighter color is going to come out first when you're painting, and then slowly it's going to transition into the darker color. And it's blending without even really paying attention to it. Even though these are just troop choices, even though these are just troop choices, it may seem like I am putting a lot of effort into the skin. Skin is something that's super important to me, and I just always try to give it the attention it deserves. So it's a very complex thing to paint, and I don't like making it too simple. This is about as simple as I get for me. Sometimes I've got painting commissions. I've got one right now where the guy just wants, he's told me, he wants quantity over quality. He just wants me to paint as many as I can for as cheap as I'll do it for. And that's when I start making things a little less complicated. Like those, I'm just doing skin color with a shade, maybe a highlight. But yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. Start with the Necrons. You can get a silver primer and be almost done painting them, I would think. I've never painted Necrons before, but figured if they're the standard color scheme, then they should probably paint up pretty quick. So this one looks a little bit darker, but that's okay. And now for the next one. Yeah, that transparent plastic, if you didn't glue it on, they should pop right off. Because I think that's, you're supposed to like pop them on after you're done painting, I think. So if they're not glued, it shouldn't be an issue. Covering them in tape doesn't sound like it would be fun. I hate painting fingers. I paint or my brush, my paint, whatever, always goes in between the fingers. Alright. So they're not perfect, but they don't need to be when you've got 100 of them in your army. So here's 3 with the skin tones done. This is kind of how I like mine to look. They're very, very pale. They actually look more pale than they really are in person. I'm gonna start putting some of my paints away because I'm making a mess over here. Alright, now I'm gonna go into with green. Oh god. Okay. Sorry, I'm making decisions. I'm gonna go in with a 50-50 of this Cabalite and this Sybarite. And then I'm gonna go pure Sybarite. Because there's not a good middle color for these, so I'll just make one. Like, this will be for highlighting the green areas. So basically the bras and the thongs. I know it's not mixed perfectly, but I really don't care. I am a pretty carefree painter. The reason I didn't want to go right to the Sybarite green is because the Drudshai Violet that I washed the Cabalite in makes it very dark. So going straight to Cabalite or Sybarite might have been too stark of a difference. So that's why I did what I did. After this, I'm going to be highlighting the blue after I go in with the pure Cyberite, but as you can see, this goes by really fast. The Cyberite will go faster than this because I'm using less. Okay. Oh, I forgot about her loincloth. I don't think that's what I should be calling it, but I'm sure there's a better word for it. Alright. Now to the Cyberite. You can see, you know, the big difference. And this I will just be using as a final highlight color. So it should go by pretty quickly. Just kind of use it the top of the thongs and kind of around the cheeks. And then just a little bit on her chest here. And then down below. And that's really it. And again, it's the top of the thong. And top of her back. This needs to be a little thinner. Oh, thank you for the follow, Carlos. Surprised you weren't already following. Now, these sculpts are really fuzzy in some places, or I should say the cast, not the sculpt. Whatever you want to call it. And you kind of have to make your own lines up. So it might look silly in some places, but I really don't care. I just do what I do and hope it turns out decent. My next stream is gonna be starting a new project. There's only 14 minutes left today. I've got obviously more than 14 minutes worth of work left, but I'm sure you guys kind of get the gist of it. I'm hoping. The boots are a little difficult to go through. Maybe I'll do the boots now instead of the blue. Because the blue, all I'm going to do is go in it with Cantor blue mixed with Temple Guard blue and then Temple Guard blue. Which is the same thing I did here. So maybe I'll do the black next instead. Because the black boots to make shiny leather is a little iffy. I started a little late today, so hopefully next week we can figure out whatever the problem is going on with these. Oh no, shoot. That's not supposed to be that color. Okay. It's like it never happened. Alright, green's done. Black. Celestial gray. And Ulthwyn gray. I think this is what I want to do. I'm going to get some black out first and touch up any places that need to be touched up. So bear with me while I do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be doing fine edge highlights on the boots here. And then to bring it all together again, I'll be doing a black glaze over the boots. Because sometimes when you start painting the white on the black, you need to bring the two colors back together since they're so different. And normally a black glaze will help with that. Either a black or a dark blue glaze, but I'm going to do black. Some of these girls have like straps on their shoulder blades that I just paint black, and that's really all I do with them. That's the only one with the shoulder. Pauldron, not shoulder blade. They all have shoulder blades. Alright, so I did my little touch-ups. I'm going to go in with Celestra Gray with that fine highlight that I was talking about. It's going to be real thin paint. It's going to be just going to be super gentle with it. Because I want these to look like leather boots, shiny leather boots. I'm sure you guys think I'm insane, but this is what I do. I'm sure you watch me because I'm insane. See how it's got kind of a fuzzy edge? I can't get a good focus. I don't really care about the fuzzy edge because like I said, I'm gonna go back in with that black glaze and make it all better again. And I'm even gonna make a little bit of a line down here. And I'm just adding shine wherever I think there should be shine. If I mess up, I still got some of this black paint out. And all is good. I might paint for a few minutes over today. I might just show you this method on one model. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show it to you on one model so I can get it through. And then I'll finish the other ones at home. Probably over the weekend if I have time. That's when I do the basing and touch-ups. Alright, so that's that. Now I'm going to go in with the Ulthuan Gray Thank you. And I'm just going to do a little bit of a more fine highlight on my pretty little lady here. This will be in the center and on top of the previous lights that I made. And on the sharpest edges. If I make a mistake, back in with this black here. And I'm picking and choosing where I put this, because when you start adding it to every highlight you already made, you lose the effect that you're going for. So I'm doing about less than 50%. That's something I learned early on. If you keep going over in a brighter color, you lose that transition that you're trying to build. So, here she is. You see the real strong lights on the boots. Now, I got some of this black already, which is awesome. And I don't have my glaze medium. Oh, what's Kristen gonna do without her glaze medium? Shoot. I'm just gonna add in Lamy and medium. Till it's real thin. I want it thinner than that. And then I will put it over the boots. I'm excited to take these girls home and finish them, because they're from my army and I like finishing things that are mine. Feels nice. Now this glaze doesn't look like it's gonna do much, but it helps make the highlights look less stark. And it takes a while to dry. Except normally I use my glaze medium, so hopefully I get the effect that I want. Alright. I've got a few minutes, I guess. I'm going to show you how I highlight these whips. This is another quick, easy thing for army painting. I dry brush them. Like, what? Kristen dry brushes? Yes, Kristen dry brushes sometimes. Except I don't use big dry brushes, I use itty bitty ones. And I just do a top down dry brush on these whips. I might try and paint until like 5 to 10 after. And these are just top down dry brushes. That was Pink Horror. And now I'm going to do Emperor's Children. This is an even brighter pink. And then I mix a little bit of white in there to make it more pale. And just on the tippy top curves. I can kind of see, you know, it's brighter on the top of the curves. I did that in like a minute. So now I'm gonna go with this one. And then mix some white in there again. There. Perfect. So when I do the metals, all I do is I go back over and do some iron breaker and Rinfane steel on the brass parts, and that's it. So that's kind of boring to watch. I'm going to show you, I'm going to do this blue real quick. I've got time. I don't think anyone's going to be kicking me out. And that way most of the model is really done. The 4 most important things are the skin, clothes / cloth, metals. I guess that's 3 things. Is that 3 things? So blue, and there's not a lot of blue, so this should only take like a minute. That's Cantor blue and Temple Guard blue mixed together, and here's Cantor blue, or Temple Guard blue by itself. Again, I'm not too concerned with stuff being mixed perfectly, because I like the variation when I'm doing clothes. And I'm just going to do the same thing as I did with the green here. Oh shoot, she's got a big blue spot on her butt. This is what happens when you try and rush. You get blue spots on the butt. Please don't repeat anything that I say. I don't know what I'm saying half the time. Blue butt. So that's the only blue she has. Oh, I need to do her glove. Alright, and then blue over here. And that's it. And now the regular Temple Guard blue that is not mixed. hard to see on her, but you can see it, I guess. There's hair. There we go. Blue. Alright, I'm done. So at home I will do the medals, the base, and finish up the boots. This one has their boots done, the other one does not. It's a very subtle difference, but those sharp, stark highlights really helped bring out some shine in them. Alright, I'll see you guys next week. Normal time, Thursday at 12:30. And thank you for watching.